You have to be a cooperative component with your own powerful, important thoughts. You can't think against your own desires and allow that gap to close. You have to lean in the direction of it. Your work is to believe what you want. Talk yourself into believing what you want. Cease the split energy. I want it, but I would really like to have that, but I've wanted it for such a long time and it's just not happening. Yeah, right. I would really like to have that, but I don't know anyone that has that easily. I want that, but oh, there's too much of a price that I would have to pay in order to get that. You often shoot your desires in the foot with your awareness of what is. And that's the part that we really want to get your attention about here and now. Because isn't this interesting? So you're standing in a place, living some life, and life shows you or brings you to an awareness that you are without something that you want to have. So knowing what you don't want or what you don't have helps you to know what you do want. So this desire becomes more and more and more until it comes into your conscious awareness. And so now you have a desire. You have a desire, and do you know what the only thing is that's keeping you from closing in on your desire, from having fun, watching things come into place and getting the fullness of it? Do you know the only thing that's keeping you from it? You're looking at what is, and what is opposite of what you want. And so the what is vibration has more of your airtime. You're talking more, thinking more about what is. And so you're not allowing yourself to talk and think about what's becoming. So you're pessimistic about what's becoming because you're talking about what is. And isn't that interesting? Don't you just find that interesting when you look at it that way, that the only thing that keeps you from moving to where you really want to be is talking about where you are incessantly. You're so interested in where you are. Let me explain to you where I am, you say to anyone who will pause and listen. Let me explain to you where I am. And oh, there's more. I need to tell you how I got here. And I'd like to tell you how long I've been here. And I'd also like to tell you how much I don't like being here. And hey, wait, I'm not the only one here. There are a lot of others here with me. None of us like being here. We all want something different than what we have. And we say, we know you do, but you can't get there that way. You got to let go of what is in order to allow what is becoming to become what is. And so what we want you to do is figure out how to enjoy the fresh breath of air that new desire is giving to you, and resist the temptation to face reality just for a little while. Lean in the direction of optimism rather than leaning in the direction of pessimism. Let yourself think thoughts that feel better to you.
I seem to have a hard time standing up for myself when I get into situations where the person either has anger or there's tension involved.
Well, part of you, a big part of you, knows that you don't have to stand up for yourself, meaning you don't have to ever push against anyone else,
Right.
because nobody else is the holder of the goods that you're trying to defend. In other words, at very deep levels, you are completely non-resistant in nature because you understand good flows to you and you don't have to fight and claw and scratch for it. You don't have to explain, it just flows. And so we think a part of you understands that. Why do you use the words not stand up for yourself? What makes you choose those words?
Well, because I don't say anything sometimes. I mean, it just seems like this person has
Maybe
a stronger vibration about what they're wanting.
Maybe,
versus...
but maybe you're really wise. Maybe you know you're vibrating here and they're vibrating there, and your words would fall on deaf ears. Maybe you're understanding that there's really no point in having this conversation because they're not in the receiving mode of what you're offering, and so it's sort of wasted breath. And we don't call that not standing up for oneself. We call that understanding when the communication's of value and understanding when it's not. What makes you say not standing up for yourself? Part of you believes that others hold power and that they have the ability to give it to you or withhold it from you. Yes? Mm-hmm. And we want you to understand that nobody outside of you can bestow power to you or withhold power from you. It is all your doing.
Yeah, but I just want to be able to just react differently.
Well, give us an example.
Well, I went to dinner a couple weeks ago with someone, and it came to the point of dessert, and he, said, well, just get whatever you want. And the waiter had suggested something, but it was like this chocolate thing, and he said it would take like maybe 15 minutes to make. And I thought it sounded really good. And the guy I was with, I said I wanted that, and he said, but it's going to take another 15 minutes. Do you really want that? And so I thought, but you just said just get whatever you want. And so I ended up getting it, just to kind of like spite him a little bit. And he ended up loving it anyway. But the point was, it's not like I wanted to argue with him, but I just wanted to feel okay with my decision versus what he thought I should be doing.
Well, if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would play that scenario out in our mind, and we would think about what actually happened. Someone suggested something to you, and you followed what felt best to you and made a decision. Mm-hmm. And when you made the decision, it caused someone else to begin to evaluate the factors. And that negative evaluation caused you to evaluate more clearly what you wanted. And now it became more than, do I just want something that tastes really good, or do I want something that the waiter has really expressed as being something unbelievably wonderful? But now also I want to add to that my expression of my autonomy, my expression of my being able to get what I'm wanting. So we think you stood up for yourself. We think you stuck to your guns. There was a little resistance within it that you would have felt a lot better without. You could have used humor and played with it and whatever. But anyway, we think you did stick up for yourself, and you did stick to your guns, and you did get what you wanted to get. And then what happened? He loved it. In other words, it was worth the wait. It was worth waiting for. It gave you an opportunity that you could have more of an experience. Now, you could have softened that and made it easier. You could have said something like, well, I really would love to sit here longer. I'm having such a wonderful time, and it would give us an excuse to sit and interact with one another longer and stretch this delicious evening out even more. And if it's all right with you, I would really like to do that. In other words, you can find ways, and the more experience you have and the more things go your way, the more you discover how to make things go your way. Kate, who is not 3 yet, has learned that all she has to do is stand around the corner and look at Jerry, and her eyes say, come and play with me. And he goes. In other words, and then she will say, again? No complaining, no whining, just expectation. Again? It just makes them want. There's nothing that they would not do. In other words, she could just say again, and they would still be there. When you are in that environment where you are tuned in with source energy and you are expecting good things to happen to you, everybody around you who's anywhere near that vibrational wavelength wants to play with you in order to give you what you want. And sometimes, and we think this is probably something that happens often with you, because you are used to things going your way, and there are a lot of people who come around you who are not necessarily used to things going their way. And when somebody who wants things to go their way witnesses somebody who gets things going their way, which amplifies their awareness that things don't always go their way, sometimes they like to put their foot in the way to keep things from going your way. But they still went your way, didn't they? Because things just go your way. And so what you want to just start expressing to those around you is, I'm used to things going my way, and that doesn't mean that I expect you to make them go my way, but things just go my way. And so if it's going to bother you to be around someone who's charmed, who everything goes their way, then you might want to find somebody else to go out to dinner with, because I'm used to things always going my way. I attract the best waiters, I attract the best food, I go to the best restaurants, I find the best desserts. Things just go my way. You always get what you want. It's the way it's supposed to be for you.
Good. Thank you.